Hi guys, Rachel with Spunky Misfit Girl here, and today I have another one of these super cute little projects from Julie over at Camelia's Crafts Designs. I love listening to her have a waffle and chat while I'm crafting, working on something. And so I did this little mini album. She was inspired by somebody else. I forget the name. And it's from mainly a 12 by 12 sheet paper. And she used that gorgeous Stamperia Roses Parfum new paper pack that's out, which I have used to make a couple of envelope journals, and it's absolutely stunning. I am in prep mode for a crafters convention in the fall because I'm going to be traveling a little bit here coming up, and I want to make sure I have most of what I need ready to go before then. So I am thinking Christmas because it's going to be fall, and I'm going to go hard on trying to sell at a lot of in-person events prior to Christmas this year too. So I'm going to make a Christmas album. I will say I have been using another sheet from this is Blue Fern, I believe. Beautiful Christmas paper, and I've been trying to use it with a Ciao Bella ephemera pack that has a lot of, pretty stuff in it, but it's a little weird. It's a little bit of a funny fit. I'm finding it tricky to make them go together and be happy with what I'm doing. But we're gonna give it another go. I also have some ephemera from my own printable kit that I have up in the Etsy shop. I'm gonna try that out. It's vintage, so maybe it'll fit the look a little better. I was also not totally happy with how this turned out from the tutorial from Julie. So I'm gonna make some changes to how I do this. With the Roses Parfum kit, she had this little frame on the front and it looked really cute. She had a larger card with a dangle on it. It looks really cute. I just found that with this, I can't remember if this is Stamperia or this one might be Ciao Bella too. It's like a desire or romance paper pack. I just found it just didn't quite lend itself to this kind of cover. So I think I'm going to do a little bit different cover. I also wasn't happy. She had some beaded little closures that she used over the top of an eyelet. I don't have anything like that, and I wasn't super happy with how this eyelet closure came out. So I'm going to do that a little bit differently. But I will show you the inside of how this looks. So it flips out like this. You've got pockets on either side. That was another thing that Julie had dies for rounded pockets, which I don't have. I wasn't super happy with these pockets. They ended up turning out okay because I put the circles on top, and I think that kind of helped them look a little more nice. But you've got little tuck spots in here, 2 rows of pockets there, and then this guy folds down, so there's a pocket here, a little small one, and then it can fold up, and you've got a pocket back here as well, which I just did this kind of as a belly band. And then that folds open down and has a top tuck here, and then this cute little fold out with the 2 that opens up. You've got a notebook on the inside, and I was pleased with how this turned out. You've got a tuck spot here, and you've got another pocket in the back as well. So we're gonna go ahead. I believe this is, Julie did this as one video. She's been doing long videos which are fun, but my technology struggles. So I'm probably gonna do this as 2 videos. But that is what we are gonna make. This goes up, these go to the side. I've been filming a big old batch this week, so forgive me if I'm a little here and there. So that's our sample to keep handy to look at as we go. So the first thing you're gonna want is a 12 by 12 piece of paper. Your right top corner is gonna end up being your cover. So I'm kind of happy with that because it's blank, light. That's gonna give me the chance to do what I want with it in terms of making that, you know, collaging it and decorating it how I want it to turn out. So the first thing that we're gonna do, and I am actually going to just go ahead and mark, since I don't have a scoreboard, we'll make this easier to get these straight. We're going to score at 4 and at 8. So I'm gonna just give myself little marks, 4 and 8, and 4 and 8. If you have a scoreboard, more power to you. That's gonna make this easier. I think it's finally about time for me to get one, but I'm still using the back of my X-Acto to line those up and score. Okay. You could also, I sometimes also measure inside my cutting board and then score along the cut line. That's not always the most accurate. So then we're gonna turn it sideways and score again. Same spots, 4 and 8, so that we have 4 equal squares. And that is going to give us our little album. So, score, 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 score. I lost my marks, you guys. This is the story of the crafter life. It's like sometimes in that paper they just disappear and you can't see them for the life of you. Okay, I can see both of those now. I'm gonna score that. And score this. That doesn't look right. No, it doesn't. My mark is slightly off. I made both my marks a little too close. Okay. Scored. Scored, scored. All right, so that is your scoring. Now what you're gonna wanna do, this is gonna be a little tricky because it's a little hard to see my score line. So I think what I'm gonna do is just fold those to give them a little more visibility here. I'm not gonna crease them yet because I can't remember. They do all end up folding, but this will give us, okay, so this was where we wanted our top. So what we need is to be able to see all of these score lines. So, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut out a T. It's a little more obvious back here. So I'm gonna cut, well, I'm gonna try not to send you flying. These two, the squares on either side, leaving this T shape all together, right? So I'm gonna cut a little bit on the inside of that score line actually, so that it will fold properly without getting mucked up. And then slightly on the outside on that top score line here. That's one, and then one here, again on the inside toward that piece right there, so that my folds will go together nicely. Where is my, I can barely see this line. And then slightly inside this one here too. Make sure that you can see. And we can always trim things off if we need to too. I actually went a little bit high on that one. Started getting not so straight. All right, so this is my T for my base. So one of these is gonna be your notebook. That's gonna go inside. So you wanna figure out which one you want for that actually. And I think your other one, where are we? We actually wanna do this. No, you wanna do it like this. Yeah, because, ooh, I actually wanna make that my cover. All of a sudden. No, I don't. So this is actually my inside. So you just gotta kind of think this out a little bit in terms of, this will go like this. I'm gonna just do my folds now. Decide my final structure here. So this will go up like this, and then it's gonna go up like this. And that's where you might actually want, I'm gonna trim off just a little bit of this edge so that that fold comes up there. And I did go a little wonky on my cutting, so I'm gonna straighten that out too. It's a little high. I don't know. Let's take a look here. I'm not sure how she managed that because it's this square, and even when we make this pocket, it's still gonna be a little, you know, it comes all the way up here. Maybe my scoring got off. I don't know. Cut off another little bit here. Because it's not gonna change the size of that square unless I fold it differently. All right. Okay with that. So this is gonna make our inside flap here and our inside flap here, and we are a little long on that one, so I'm also gonna trim this one off. Probably should do this with my trimmer, but being a little lazy. Okay, so that'll be our front. We'll have lots of possibilities for collaging that with some nice Christmas. That's gonna fold up like that and like that, and we're still a little bit long on which one. Who's getting in my way? This guy. Yeah, this guy here. But let's take that in a little bit more too, because he's not straight either, and that's what's getting in our way. So you might need to just do some fiddling. Make sure your folds get to where they need to be. I think that's good. So I think we'll use, this is actually really pretty. I'm tempted, I think we'll do that. I think we'll use this one on the inside here. So that's gonna come in like this. So I'm gonna trim it down a little. Just, you know, like, yay much. 1/8 of an inch or so, just to give it some air underneath here. Yeah, I like that. So we've got our score line here in the middle, and we're just gonna fold our doors into that score line. Maybe actually a little weird. I don't love it. What if we did it the other way? I'm gonna leave it. All right, so that's our inside. I'm gonna round my corners on everything here. Oops. It's my edge. I've got a little bit of score line here still, so I think I'm just gonna tweak my edge there too. It's gonna make it a little short on the fold, but that's okay. I filmed like 5 videos yesterday and 1 other already this morning, so this is ending up feeling like one of those days kind of videos because I think I'm a little burnt out. But with the travel, I really want to get ahead so that I have stuff ready to go out for you guys while I'm away. All right, so just punching a little notch in at the top for that pocket. I'm also gonna, actually I think that's part of the paper. I'm also gonna ink. So this guy is gonna go in as a pocket. Do have a score line in the middle there, which you can try to push out a little if you want, but I'm just not too fussed about it. It's gonna be mostly covered up by whatever pocket we put inside of here, so not too worried about it. This paper does take creases pretty hard, but it's okay. It's a vintage Christmas. So these I want to do as well because that will show. My ink is really pretty lame and dried up. I need to splash it with some water or something. I don't know. It's just not giving me what I want in terms of darkness levels. It's like vintage photo level now, and I want walnut stain. Okay. So that piece there is gonna come in here. I'm actually gonna ink the top of this guy too. Julie throws me off because she just inks whenever she feels like it. And I'm like, I need to ink. I need to ink, woman. That's while we're at it around the corners here too, so we can just ink those up. Corner rounder is giving me grief today too. All right. Rounded corners. I do like that on projects like this. I don't always want rounded corners, but for something like this, I think it just looks more beautiful, more professional. Ink, bring it. Come up with me here. This paper, especially when you crease it, it's so thick and lovely. It really shows those whites. So I like to ink it inside there too. Get rid of those really thoroughly. Yeah. Looking inked. All right. That's good for now. We'll do the rest later. Actually, I'm going to do this bottom one too because I'm going to glue over there. So I want that nice and done. It might need to be time to swap out my foam piece here too. It's giving me some grief as well. Okay, that looks good. So now this guy is going to go in here just like this. I'm just going to test it out and make sure my folds will still work properly, because actually I think I probably should have trimmed it down a little more before I folded. Yeah, this is a bit big. Well, bloody hell. Essential step that I forgot. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this side. Actually, this might be okay. I'm just gonna fold it. This is not gonna be very easy or elegant, but I'm gonna refold it with that extra gone. So trim yours down before you do this. Yeah, and actually this one's too short too because I cut off extra, so I'm gonna refold that one as also, so that I actually wouldn't mind it if it goes over the top of that one a little bit, which is what I was thinking would be maybe potentially even better about this. All right, I'm gonna have that little, oh, and I forgot, that's why I forgot. She did a gusset on this. Well, so now I have a gusset by accident. that's totally fine. Yeah. So, because she scored a gusset in here too. So ideally, that's what you should do too, instead of doing it my way and doing it accidentally. So let's round these corners again. Mistakes and all, that's what we do. I was just thinking like, oh man, maybe I should trash this and start over, try again, but I don't want to. We're gonna keep going. I am gonna ink this up more because of that white, but I am okay with this. All right, it's gonna fit in there beautifully. And now that covers that up a little bit, which I also like actually. And that it should have plenty of room to make my folds. So what I will do is score my gusset on these. So we're gonna go about 1/8 of an inch. I'm actually not gonna mark these. I'm gonna just try to line it up here. Just like that. And score. But try to do it straight, Rachel. You do want it to be straight. And another one here. So that will fold. That will fold properly. Creasing that guy. And that's gonna need some ink. And then let's crease this guy. See if I can find it. There it is. Coming out of there. This paper, I will say, I will give myself a little more credit. This is blue fern paper, and it is a lot stiffer. It's a lot more, it's a lot heavier. It's closer to cardstock. The Stamperia paper is a little more easily foldable. This stuff does take some doing. All right, so, and you can see that reflected, right, in the creases on these things. It's very hard to get that right. So now we are going to glue this guy in as a pocket. So we're going to just do our sides and our bottom. I am going to check where we're at time-wise here. Since I'm fiddling so much, we've gotten long. So this will definitely be 2 videos. I maybe should do it even as 3. But okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take and we're gonna make our closures for this. And I've got to figure out, so I'm gonna do 4 of the craft. I've got to figure out what kind of decorative thing I want to put on the top of this. This is the thing about, you know, using a 1-pager here. I don't have extra except for from this Ciao Bella ephemera kit. I kind of want something that looks, look, I've got these. This might be cool. I've got these little, I think this is the size that I'm gonna want here. These little guys. They could be very neat. on this. I don't know if they're big enough though. Not quite. Let's see what happens when we ink them up. Otherwise, the backside's pretty good too. I don't know about on that side. I really, I like that. So let's ink these up and see if those will work. If I can get most of the white gone, I think we'll use them. So we're just gonna glue these together so they have a minute to dry. And we'll add these on the next video. I'm gonna try to do most of the basic structure so that you have that before doing much of the decorating and the pockets and stuff, so that if you want to just run with that part yourself, you can. This is a pretty, it's kind of dependent on what paper pack you're using, what options you have, what you like. It's not a really straightforward, like, do it all this way kind of a thing. Like I said, there were a number of things that in my sample that I wasn't a fan of, so I'm gonna do this just based on what I have here and how I want it to turn out. All right, so we glued that in, we made our circles. Now we're going to take a look at the front cover, actually, in service of that, of getting the structure done. I'm gonna ink that up on the outside, and we're gonna think about how to do this closure, because I'm gonna do it differently. I don't wanna do an eyelet. I think I'm gonna do a circle closure. Or what we could also do is, if it turns out I want to collage this with some kind of larger image that's going to go around, it's going to kind of be the central image and the focus of the cover, we could also put in some, I might actually get out my black, because this is just not doing it for me in terms of the darkness level I want. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Look at that. Just a wee bit of black on the edge gives it a little more love. Okay, so let's think about what we want to do here. I have these pretty, there are some birds in here, but this is, ooh, I do kind of like that. I also have this piece that I cut out that didn't work in my other project. I kind of like that too. That could be nice with something like that. I don't want to fuss too much. Let's not fuss. Let's run with it. Right? No fussing. No fussing allowed. Too much fussing lately. This is pretty. I like it. This guy too. The only thing is with this Ciao Bella pack, it feels a little, I don't know. I'm kind of a, I don't know how to say it. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. It feels a little kitschy. It feels a little pat. It feels a little bit like Stepford Wives, suburban America in some way to me. And I am not that. And so that's making it a little hard. I do like this. I don't love it though. It doesn't make me go, wow. Wow. Somebody's gonna want that. Somebody's gonna have to have that in their life. What else do I have around here that might do that? This, I think, It's this Ciao Bella paper pack is just not doing it for me in that regard. You know, it's just a little too new and shiny. We need some vintage, more vintagey stuff. So maybe I should try, what about these little birds? So this is my Christmas ephemera pack, which is in my Etsy shop, and I printed it out at 60% because I thought at full size, most of these pieces would be too big. So let's take a look. The other thing is colors. You know, the colors are sometimes a little bit, like this blue. How is this blue supposed to mesh with this? Oh, and what I need to remember is closure. So if I'm gonna do, let's think about this. I want maybe some of this. This gold ribbon goes really well with this blue fern. But not so much with this, that's for sure. Corners everywhere. I am just a disaster on this guy. Probably gonna have to go away and think about this off camera because you guys know what a disaster I am trying to collage on camera. So, I don't know, maybe I should just go back to this, which I was liking well enough. Yeah, that's actually quite pretty with that ribbon. Let's do it. Okay, so what we're gonna do with the closure then is we're gonna just wrap this around like these. Make that sucker nice and long so we can have a nice, big, pretty bow. And we're gonna even it out on the ends here. And then we're gonna glue it on right in that middle with a glue. It is ridiculously hot outside in my Texas summer. And somehow it has been kind of hot inside too, even though they tell me the AC is working fine. My apartment has giant windows, so it's really kind of a pain, and it doesn't feel like the AC is working at the level it says it is. The little lazy bastard. All right, so let's put this guy on here. I hope this turns out looking like something I can be somewhat happy with. Pretty. I'm becoming happy with it. That's the thing, when things go together and you start getting there, and I can do some other things. Actually, I wish I had like book pages or something neutral. What do I have for bits and bobs laying here? Yeah, I want to do something like this. I want to add something like this to it. That will make me happy. Then it's given me a little more of those vintage vibes that I need. And maybe we'll put it, so I'm not gonna glue that guy on there yet. I'm gonna put this guy in right there, just the way he is. Actually, probably should give him some ink. Ink after glue, sure, that works fine. No problem. Where's this guy going? We're just putting him in right there like that. We're gonna give him a little more ink though. Down here. All right. Like that. Okay. That's making me happier. This is learning, right? This is learning about myself. And this is something I am putting together an email sequence, series of, really a newsletter for my email list that is going to be all about junk journaling and some of the really valuable things that I've learned over the last year or so of doing it and running the Etsy shop and having the YouTube channel. And one of the things I'm putting in there is, you know, figuring out your style, figuring out your stuff that you love, right? And that is a part of what this is all about, right? Like, I'm bothered by this because the Ciao Bella kit is a little too new feeling to me and clean. And I like some level of grungy and old. And I was missing that from these pretty fancy Christmassy bits that just were not working for me as far as that went, right? And so this is definitely fixing that for me. I wish I had a little more of this paper though. I think I do somewhere, but I'm gonna have to go dig it out. So I'm gonna do that. I'm actually gonna call this good. It's already 42 minutes, which is way too long. So we will come back to finishing up our cover, putting together our insides, and doing our pockets in part 2 of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.